Hi guys, this is Aegis, and this is game 2 between EGIdra and our player Legosu from Dream, I assume. So we've got a PvT here now on a Shattered Temple. Of course, this is the most unfortunate of temples. It gets lost, it gets shattered, and here we do have yet another battle on it, so it's going to be a battlefield too. This is a very unfortunate place to have a temple. I would not recommend you building a temple that would do something like this. If you can predict any sort of real estate, what it would happen to it, wouldn't suggest a location similar to this one. But it does look nice. It's got plenty of green. So we've got our Protoss player over here throwing up his pylon, going to be walling off at the front. This is different from Lost Temple. If you remember that map, this is much wider. Sort of wish that they kept the name Lost Temple, but it did change a lot, so I guess they couldn't. Because Lost Temple is such a classic name for a Blizzard map. We've got here the Overlord now scouting into this base and does not find Legosu, so it's going to continue moving along the backside, see where it can hide later on in the game. There's another Overlord headed over here to the natural expansion. It looks like Legosu will be scouting now into IdrA's base. And is there a drone scout out? No, there is not. And it looks like Legosu sent a probe over here to see if there was an Overlord. Did not see one. But of course he did find the Zerg player already, going to be parking his probe out at the front, and IdrA going for the spawning pool first yet again, going for the gas as well. And Legosu over here with his gateway now about 75% complete, also grabbing the gas pylon coming up behind the mineral lines. And IdrA finishing his spawning pool, and his gas will be going for that Zergling speed. Also throwing up the hatchery at the natural expansion. I guess that probe was unable to block that off. Maybe it was trying to. And Legosu over here, his pylon just finished. Cybernetics core is up now for Legosu. He's leaving a gap over here. I'm pretty sure this is there's two gaps in this wall. This may be an accident, and this could cost him if IdrA suddenly decides to go Zergling all in and try to bust this front. And there is that Cybernetics core finishing up. More drones coming out. A couple of Zerglings also spawning, going to be able to spot across the map. And Legosu placing one probe in the center, going to be spotting for any sort of move out from our Zerg player. And those Zerglings will be able to clear out those the tower as soon as they get over to that probe. And it looks like the drone makes its way in there, going to be doing some mineral walk. Going to be checking out everything that Legosu is going after. No gas here yet. We'll see if he decides to go a very similar build to last game. And Legosu going to be trying to pick off that drone, and drone sneaks away. IdrA very good with his micro there. Going to be getting that probe drone continuing to be able to scout in here. And a second gateway is on the way, so this is looking very similar. A couple of Zerglings over here. I don't know if they know that they could possibly squeeze in here. I feel like this is a gap. Otherwise, this is some kind of graphics glitch. I really do feel like there's a gap large enough for a Zergling to sneak by. They could just walk along the edge. Zerglings shouldn't be that afraid of the cliff, so they should be able to get in there. And I wonder if they're actually able to. And that Stalker, yeah, it even looks like a Stalker would be able to fit in there. Maybe Legosu is checking the gap and found that he could not go through, and it looks like, okay, yeah, there was a gap. He's throwing up a second pylon to be able to close that gap off just in case IdrA would do something like that. But it looks like he's going after that Roach Warren. Currently has not made and is not making any drones, so he may be going for some sort of quick Roach play. We'll see what he decides to do. The Zergling speed is also finishing up, and our Protoss player grabbing that expansion. Same build as last time, finally grabbing that second gas, so he wants that expansion even faster than usual. So I guess this is a build that he really does like against Zerg. We'll see how it works out for him in this game. IdrA over here now making 8 roaches, so he may be going for that push real soon. He's not making any sort of drones. 6 more Zerglings on the way. All of the larva being devoted to units, attacking units that is. So he's going to be trying to bust down in here. And Legosu, because of that late gas, will not have the sentry count, so he won't have that many force fields to be able to keep our Zerg player out. And there it is, Zerg player. Now moving into the center of the map, Legosu should know now. He sees the roaches and the Zerglings streaming across the map. We've got 12 more Zerglings in the production just now. He's walling off a little bit. He's trying to close this gap a little bit so that those roaches do not run in there. He has 2 sentries. We'll have a couple of force fields, maybe 2 or 3. But those roaches starting to do damage here. He did not get the cancel. That did go down. 2 pylons out here free for the picking. And over here trying to produce additional sentries. That is rallied outward. So he needs to be careful about that force field going down. Going to be preventing those units from running in here. The roaches on the low ground going to be doing some damage as well. The sentries unable to tame those Zerglings up yet. Should be force fielding one more time to prevent those units from running in. That cybernetics core is looking very in danger of falling, and down it goes. Only Zealot's going to be able to warp in right now, and against roaches, that is not a very good response to have. Zealot over there getting spat on, another force field going down. He needs to get this wall back up and running as soon as possible. IdrA now switching back to drone production. Tons of drones coming out. Creep is spreading as well as the spine crawlers. So IdrA is going to be looking very ahead in this game, especially with his expansion already up, and Legosu is going to be trying to re-secure this expansion, throwing up the expansion yet again, and IdrA is backed up all the way back to his base, is going to be taking this lead for a spin now into the long run of the game. He does have the spine crawler now up, but he did spend a lot of larva, so Legosu is in no ways out of this yet. We'll see what he decides to do real soon. He is getting his expansion back up and running. He's thrown down 2 pylons in the exact same place, throwing up 2 additional gateways, as well as a cybernetics core in the backside, and a couple of Zerglings poking around in the center of the map. And IdrA over here continuing to make additional units and upgrades. More drones coming out. Glial Reconstitution on the way as well. Taking down the gold rocks. Feeling real safe. Ready to take a 3rd base once he gets that up. Again, Legosu is going to be in a lot of trouble. Not so Gosu after this. IdrA looking very strong right now. 87 of food, 89 food, down to the 70 food of Legosu. And Legosu is mostly on Zealot Sentry. So we've got here drone probes now transferring over to the natural expansion. Legosu not that saturated in his main. He does. Then there is that gold expansion now on the way. IdrA may even want to go over here and pick off those back rocks to be able to take a 4th base pretty quickly. Roach is now on the way for IdrA as well. IdrA now 99, nearly 100 food to 80. Now Legosu making pure stalkers. We'll see if how successful his push is off of this base. And that Overlord over there with the speed is going to be able to get away, possibly hover over the next expansion. Zerglings spawning across the map right now, and it looks like IdrA is going to be gearing up to defend against this push. 7 roaches on the way. Glial Reconstitution finishing up right now. Roaches in position, and we've got the Zerglings running by. Going to be forcing all of the probes off mining. Zerglings now going to be retreating to help defend. Roaches advancing forward. Nice force fields there to be able to prevent that Roach army from busting forth. But the Zerglings continuing to run back and forth over here, being very annoying. There goes down a couple of force fields to be able to defend against this, but those sentries are getting picked off. More Zealots getting warped in there, and it looks like our Protoss player is going to be forced into attacking. Warping, or not warping into Colossus, hallucinating a ton of units. Gonna see if he can force IdrA to GG before actually the battle happens. It looks like those hallucinating units are coming down pretty quickly. The Colossus not doing any damage. IdrA now backing up to his spine collar, gonna let that spine collar do some damage. And that Colossus is gonna be running out real soon. Colossus up at the front, getting killed off. GG comes out of Legosu. And this game goes to IdrA. So IdrA is a 2-0 so far. I actually did not find any additional games, so I'm going to assume that IdrA took the series 2-0. Unless it was a best of 5, then I assume, based on what I saw here, IdrA would have taken it 3-0 anyways. So this is Aegis signing off.